Hi, I'm Anika and I'm a rising junior at Brearley. My project for these 3 weeks was to create a machine capable of differentiating between and ultimately sorting different colors of glass. Because glasses of different colors have different melting points, glass poses an interesting problem in the recycling industry. It is costly and inefficient to sort the glass so that it can be melted. So what a lot of companies have to do is essentially smash all of the glass together in order to create something called glass fault to be used in paths. But this means that the glass essentially ends its life after being recycled, which sort of just defeats the purpose of recycling. I wanted to work on a project which could use object detection with deep learning in order to identify different colors of glass and then ultimately model how they might be sorted on a larger scale. So here's a demonstration. So what it'll do is first it resets to the original position. It takes a photo, sends the photo to NanoNets to be processed. It receives a response, scans the response for the location, and then it'll pick up the bottle. Here's when the bottle is in a different place. I designed the claw arm itself to be able to, the claw itself with wire and rubber bands in order to be able to pick up a small cylindrical object, as it's doing right there. So in order to create this, my first step was to actually load and run a pre-trained model on the Raspberry Pi and also work with the camera module in order to both figure out more about object detection and also figure out what issues might arise so that later in the process, I'll be able to more easily solve them and isolate what the issue itself is. After that, I made my own model with specifically pictures of glass bottles, but also some cracked glass because my original plan was to use cracked glass in my demonstration. So I uploaded the images and I annotated them, and ultimately I reached an accuracy rate of around 94%. And this is an image just taken by the Raspberry Pi and then annotated by NanoNets. So you can see that the brown bottle has been identified here. You can just see a bit of my arm and camera setup here. On the rightmost photo, you can see the location of the camera. Originally, my plan was actually to have it above the entire setup so that it has an aerial view, and then it can process the coordinates so that regardless of where the bottles are, the claw arm will be able to go and pick that up. That ultimately wasn't feasible in my time frame. However, in the future, when I have time, I'd love to experiment with that so that it can be a less idealized model and it can pick up the bottle regardless of where it is. I'd also like to install a conveyor belt system so that the entire system is more efficient and, again, models how it might be in real life. One thing that I really learned a lot about with this project was technology for urban sustainability. And it's something that I've been interested in a lot for quite a while. And I think that we don't really think that much about the recycling system, and specifically glass recycling, because we think that as soon as we've loaded up the recycling and sent it off to the recycling plant, it's basically done, when really there are a lot more steps and a lot more people involved in having that system run efficiently. In the future, I'd like to continue to focus on technology for sustainable efforts, specifically, I think, urban sustainability. And actually, later this summer, I'm going to be participating in a program that focuses on AI for urban agriculture, which I'm really excited about. And I'm excited to bring what I've learned from focusing on this project to urban agriculture. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anika. Are there any questions? All right, so I'll ask you a question. What was your favorite moment while you were doing this? Because I know you ran into a lot of issues, but what stands out as your favorite?
I don't know. I mean, whenever you like fix a bug, that's just a huge thing. Also, I really loved receiving things because I struggled a lot with the SSH into the Raspberry Pi. So when I got my module and was able to really dig my hands into the problem, that was just fantastic. Um, but I think that probably the thing that I liked the most was when I was able to make the arm it pick up the correct bottle, and it actually picked it up, and that was just, I mean, because I had been spending hours on it before that, and it was a very exciting moment. I just sort of turned off the Raspberry Pi and celebrated in my room.
Awesome. Thanks so much.